right up there with the 1947 Roswell incident. But the cow mutilations of the 70s remain one of New Mexico's biggest mysteries. Now there's a new book about it, and the author says he knows exactly what happened to all those cows. News 13's Amanda Goodman has the story. Amanda?
Jess, the book was written by the son of the lead New Mexico State Police investigator. A warning, some of the images are graphic.
For Stories of the Year, the CIA named a previously confidential report which links CIA activities in the 1950s to UFO sightings.
I don't know if you know what a PLF is, a program life form. We have been making these since after World War II. They are genetic experiments, and they pass very well as aliens. And I know the facilities where we've been making these. And often, the classified projects that are trying to frighten the public. And I know men who have been on these assault teams. They're called abduction teams, but it's an assault team. And one of the institute, a private institute, I got a very secret document that describes this, and they describe the stagecraft of using not only program life forms, but also men in things that look like very good uniforms to be on ARVs, these alien reproduction vehicles, using psychotronic and radionic systems to engage people and have a pseudo-contact experience. It's very frightening.
They found broken bones. They were found with harness marks because they were being lifted in some type of harness or clamp marks on their hooves or legs.
That was life for ranchers in northern New Mexico in the mid to late 1970s. Cows were turning up dead, their carcasses mutilated.
Ranchers would routinely see them at night, before they went to bed. And then the next morning they would find them dead in the field or the pasture.
Officer Valdez believed these government agencies returned the cattle to perpetuate the theory that aliens were responsible, to shield themselves from suspicion.
Show that humans were involved in the mutilations.
Officer Valdez's theory that government agencies were snatching the cattle for super secret Cold War experiments at an underground base in Dulce.
Now, most of the animals got killed by what I call a death ray, where the atmospheric air is being manipulated with a directional energy beam focused on the nose of the animals, and where the oxygen is being changed into ozone and the nitrogen is being oxidized. So the animals are breathing in this manipulated bubble of air, which is made up out of high concentrations of ozone and nitrogen oxides. Ozone, when combines with moisture of the respiratory tract and the mucous membrane, it forms peroxide, and it's salty. Energy being focused on the nose, pigments. Where those burns were, it pigments black pigmentation. Same way as what happened where the holes were burnt into the tits. Black pigmentation, and you see this animal by nature, it does not have black pigmentation, and before that incident it didn't have any black spots on the noses, but on the arrangement of pictures down at the bottom, where they are grouped in 6, I've documented it there, the black pigmentation. Now this is externally, but what it does internally to the animals. The next one is a picture of the lung. Massive hematoma. The next lung. Bleaching out on the inside, on the outside of the lung, caused by peroxide. It seeps right through the tissue and causes massive corrosive damaging, and that is deep tissue damage. First picture showed a cow that was in excellent shape. They burned. She turned lame on one side. A year later, she got burned on the other side, and the cow went down. She went and died. Second picture, Brownie. She got gassed when she was a few days old. That I use in this technology, what I'm talking about, they have no qualms using it against people, and I have the scars to prove it. And they have caused the death. In my estimation, they have caused the early demise and death of some of my neighbors too.
In fact, dozens of people say that over the past few weeks, they've been chased, as if they're being hunted down and attacked by the lights. September 1977. Panic has overtaken the remote Brazilian island of Colares, 68 miles north of Belém. Dozens of residents say they've been attacked by strange beams of light, emitted by unidentified objects in the sky. At that time, Dr. Valaide Carvalho is the 24-year-old director of the local healthcare unit. She has been on the island for only 6 months. Over the last few days, the young doctor has seen an increase in her patient load, many of whom claim they have been injured by these unexplained lights.
People kept showing up, and I was getting irritated because I thought it was getting to be too much. It was mass hallucination, it was mass delirium. I had more and more cases. I remained skeptical, thinking they had all gone crazy for some reason.
The symptoms the doctor sees are all the same. The patients display what appear to be radiation burns, as well as unusual puncture marks. Physician Daniel Rabiso studied the events on Colares.
The marks were generally at the thorax level, shoulders, chest, cases on the thigh, the leg, and generally the burn was small. It wasn't very extensive, a maximum of 15 centimeters in diameter. Dr. Valaide observed small papillas as if there were 2 small injections in the location of the wound.
Victims report that these burns were caused when the light made contact with their skin. But the wounds are unlike any burns the young doctor has treated before.
The marks caused by the burns turned black suddenly, as if they were burns that had been around for 10 days or so. However, many times it had only been 10 minutes since they were made.
And the doctor's most disturbing cases are yet to come. In September, she examines a woman whom relatives claim has been attacked inside her home by a bright light.
She arrived being carried by family members. She was already in a state of spasms, as if she was having cardiac arrest. Her mouth was shut tight, her eyes were closed, she had no reflexes at all.
Carvalho tries to stabilize the woman's condition, but there's no sign of improvement.
There was nothing more we could do. The only thing left was to put her in a car, since we didn't have an ambulance, and drive her to Belém.
Carvalho waits for an update on the woman's condition. 5 days later, another serious case is brought to her clinic. A woman whom witnesses say was hit by a strong beam of light while standing in her yard.
She arrived in a squad car in such a profound state of rigidity that they couldn't fold her into the car. And she came lying on the back seat with her legs sticking out because they couldn't bend them in.
Carvalho sends this patient to the city as well. Soon, the doctor receives word from the regional hospital in Belém about her patients. They are both dead.
Some of the other theories about what happened to the cattle included alien abductions, that the cows simply died of natural causes, and predators were responsible for the mutilation. Valdez says all evidence suggests humans were the ones responsible. Jess?
Okay, Amanda, Gabe Valdez died 2 years ago. His son says he doesn't think the government will ever own up to what really happened.